Howdy folks, and welcome to the first day of summer. On the summer solstice, I am bringing you a special extended HOBOTECH tips. On this edition, we're going to teach you how to stay cool in your RV, van, or vehicle if you don't have air conditioning. Because we all know how to stay cool if you have air conditioning, but it's pretty tough to stay cool when you don't have air conditioning or not plugged in an RV park. So we're going to go over the 6 top tech tips to help you stay cool. Now we all know you can beat the heat in your RV or van with air conditioning, but what if you are boondocking and you're not plugged in, you don't have that unlimited electric, you don't have a generator. Some of you with generators, sure, you can run your big honking generator all day and all night, but the price of gas, man, it's like over $3 a gallon. It would put me in the poorhouse if I ran mine day and night. So there's got to be some other options to stay cool, right? Yes, there are. Let's go over those right now. HOBOTECH tip. Tip number 1 is to have the right altitude. Okay, so what if you're a cheap bastard like me? For 15 bucks in gas, I can climb to about 4,000 feet above sea level, 4,500 feet above sea level, and it would drop the temperature by 7, 8, 9 degrees. And that's really good on a day that's normally in the 80s. Today in downtown Boise, it's in the mid 80s, and where I'm at here, it's in the upper 70s, mid 70s. For 20 bucks in gas, I can go way up into the mountains with all the big tall trees and stuff, and that's over 6,000 feet altitude. That's like 6,500 feet up where I go, and that will drop the temperature of 14 to 16 degrees. So if it's 90 degrees down here in the valley, you're in the low 70s up there in the mountains. That's definitely one of the best ways to beat the heat. Now be aware that when you climb in altitude, the sun gets stronger on a clear day. You're going to need more sunblock. You're going to need to drink more water. We're going to get to that in a moment. Now another thing about going up into the deep mountains, like way at 6,000 feet, is that your internet connection is probably going to suffer unless you have a booster system like I have. And you can see what I use by going to my Amazon page. I'll link it here below. So what's the next tip? Tarp it. And your little fridge too. One of the best ways to keep your RV or van cool is by creative use of tarps. Parking in the shade is great, but guess what? If you park in the shade and you have a solar system on your roof, you're going to not be able to charge your batteries. Second, the sun moves. So as the sun moves through the sky, you might have shade one half the day, and then you might have sun in your face the other half of the day. The best way to combat this is just to bring your own shade with you, which is what I do. A lot of RVs or self-built custom vans have insulation in the walls and in the roof to prevent you from roasting like a lobster inside when you're in the direct sun. And that's great, it works fine. But there's one big problem. You need to drive. And in order to drive, you need windows. And when you have windows, it's like a giant greenhouse effect. And everybody knows this greenhouse effect when you've gotten into your car or truck, and it's like twice as hot inside as it is outside. Well, what most people do is they'll cut strips of Reflectix, like this. A lot of people will take this, put it on the inside of their windows, and it does a really good job of protecting your vehicle from getting hot on the inside due to the sun. Now this works up to an extent. When this gets hot, it transfers that heat inside to the vehicle anyway. So the next thing you want to do when it gets hotter outside is to put up the tarp. You can see I have my tarp actually goes over the windshield, over the side windows, and over the portal windows in the top of the road truck. Now that's important up there because those really lets the sun in. Now I have Reflectix on the inside of all these windows, including the top ones, and that's like my second defense barrier against the sun. So between this and that, it stays really cool up front. Now the kind of tarp you want to get, cheap. You don't need to get one of those custom fit for your vehicle shades that are like hundreds of dollars. Sure, you can get that, but let me tell you, they're pretty thick. They're hard to transport because, you know, they don't fold up all that well, so you better have a lot of storage space for them. These tarps they fold up into almost nothing, and you can carry a couple of big ones with you, and it will do the job. So what kind of tarp? Just a generic one, as long as when the light shines through it, you really can't see it on the other side. That's the important thing. If the light can't penetrate it, it's not going to heat up your vehicle. Now, if you want to know exactly what tarps I use, you can find them on my Amazon page, along with the Reflectix. Now, this trick also works on Class A's. You usually can't buy one of those big custom covers for a Class A, but you can certainly get tarps. You can get huge tarps, like 25 by 50 if you need them. That'll cover your entire RV. You can wrap your entire RV in a tarp if you want, and it actually will keep it a lot cooler. Now, I know this goes without saying, but drink plenty of fluids. In fact, you should do what's called superhydrating. Now, many of you have been on like certain diets. You probably already know what this is. Basically, what you want to do is you want to drink at least 1 gallon of water a day. Now, that's 2 of these. You can get these at Walmart, by the way. Drink at least 1 gallon of water per day. Now, this is on top of any other fluids. So you don't count tea, coffee, beer, or anything else in that. It's a gallon of water plus whatever else you feel like drinking. It's also important that you drink cold water. Don't drink room temperature water. Now, room temperature water is easier on your stomach, but cold water will actually cool you down. And the reason why that is that it lowers your core body temperature, and so you sweat less. And when you sweat less, you don't feel as hot. The final benefit to drinking cold water, and colder the better, like should be close to freezing temperature. If it doesn't give you an ice cream headache, it's not cold enough. The benefit is it actually burns calories because your body has to burn energy in order to heat the water up to body temperature. So it's only a couple calories, but hey, every one counts, right? The final benefit to superhydration is that you urinate a lot. And why is that good? Not only does it detoxify your body, but it rids you of heat. When you urinate a gallon of water, which, you know, I urinate usually 1.5 to 2 gallons a day. That's 1.5 to 2 gallons of heat that's carried out of your body, and then you replace it with the ice cold water. I'm telling you, it really keeps you cold. I've been slugging this between every take just because I had to shut the fans off in here. So when you're drinking all this water, you want to make sure that you keep up your intake of salts and minerals. If you're doing this right, your urine should look lemonade colored or closer to clear. It should not be totally clear, and it should definitely not be orange or dark yellow. If it's orange or dark yellow, you're not getting enough fluids, you're not getting enough water. If it's totally clear, you're drinking way too much water. You got to be careful because signs of dehydration and overhydration are pretty much the same. Now, if you get headaches, muscle cramps, or you start getting dizzy, then you're either drinking too much water or not enough water. Your urine will tell you if you're overhydrated or underhydrated. If your urine's dark colored, you're not getting enough water. If your urine is clear, you're getting too much water. So just look at your pee. Look at your pee, people. Now, one of the ways you can beat overhydration is to drink things other than water. One of the things I like to drink is the Arizona green tea with honey. I think that's really good. It doesn't have a lot of sweetener in it. You can drink juices, sodas, beer, I mean, whatever coffee you want in your diet. Just make sure that you have a lot of water. Now, if you're one of those people that don't drink anything but water, just make sure that you have your salt intake and your salts and mineral intake covered by using like sea salt or eating a variety of foods during the day that will replenish your minerals, or just drink Gatorade or something. As I said, I drink 1 to 2 gallons of water per day, depending on heat and altitude. Now, if I was buying by the gallon, I would be in the poorhouse of drinking that much water every day. So what do? I manage this by filling these giant Coleman 5-gallon jugs of water whenever I fill up the tank in the RV. Yes, it's tap water. Yes, it's got chlorine. Yes, it might have random arsenic or other crazy chemicals and stuff in it. But I mitigate that by using the Aquasana clean water machine. And here's the pitcher for it. Now, how it works is you pour into the top your tap water. You put it into the filter system, which I have hooked up in the back. I'm not going to show you now. I am going to do a full review on this. You plug it in. It actually has a pump that that sucks the water out the bottom. There's a gasket there in the bottom. It sucks the water out the bottom. It pours it back into the outside of the pitcher. You can see that there's 2 layers in there. And then you just pour this into your container. They do make a dispenser version, but I recommend this one because you can actually pour it into other containers. Now, I've had this for over a year. The filters last 320 gallons for like 20 bucks. The filters are like 20 bucks on Amazon. I have this and the filters on my Amazon page if you're interested. But like I said, I'm gonna do a full review on this later. It's a mandatory piece of equipment for me for being on the road for keeping the costs of water down. So I just fill up my 5-gallon Colemans. I keep 2 of these 5-gallon Coleman containers on board for 10 gallons of drinking water. Then I have several other containers. It gives me about 13 gallons total of drinking water. And don't forget your pets. Your pets overheat a lot easier than you do because dogs and cats don't sweat through their skin. It's a lot harder for them to get rid of excessive heat, and we can just sweat where our bodies are designed to get hot and sweat. Cats and dogs, the best thing for them is they just drink a lot of water. So make sure that their water bowls are full with a lot of clean water, and you're going to see them drinking a lot. Who's the hot, sexy kitty today? Huh? Who's the hot kitty? Are you a hot kitty? Look at you. You're beating the heat. Ice, ice, baby. Now that's the next tip on how to stay cool. Being able to lower your body temperature internally is key. You can do this with refrigerated drinks, but they get warm pretty quickly, and most people have their refrigerators set way too high. I've heard of people setting it at like 40, 45, 50 degrees, which is like way too high. First of all, your food's going to spoil in a few days if it's set that high. Secondly, your drinks aren't going to be that cold. And I know a lot of people do that to save energy, but it's worth it in the food that you don't lose to spoiling, and it's also worth it to keep your drinks super cold by lowering that temperature in your refrigerator. Now this here is a refrigerator thermometer, and I don't know if you can see that, but it says that 40 degrees is the maximum temperature for your refrigerator. This is for food safety reasons. You don't ever want to have your refrigerator over 40 degrees, and of course it's reading higher than that now because it's outside the refrigerator. But I always keep, and this is on my propane fridge, I always try to keep it between the 32 and 40 degree mark. Now my 12 volt refrigerator, my total electric refrigerator, I keep that at 29 degrees Fahrenheit. And a lot of you are going to say, well, doesn't that freeze everything? Well, only the very bottom inch or two of the refrigerator gets cold enough to freeze anything. So what I'll do is I'll put my ground beef or whatever I'm going to cook, say a week from now, I'll put it in the bottom of the refrigerator so it freezes solid. And then I'll put drinks, other food, everything on top of that. The top of the refrigerator will wind up being like 35 degrees. So anything in the top, like cheeses and stuff, won't freeze. Now you generally have 3 choices when it comes to ice. You can make ice with ice cube trays like this, you can buy the big bags of ice, or you can buy an ice machine or an ice maker. Those are great. I actually considered getting one of those myself. I just don't really have the room for one. So what I did was I got these. These are silicone ice cube trays, and they make these like gigundous ounce-sized ice cubes. You put one of these in your glass, it takes literally an hour. It doesn't matter how hot it is outside. It takes forever for that ice cube to melt. It's really good because you don't have a real high surface area with a large cube. So it melts slowly, yet it still keeps your drink cold because it's an ice cube. It just doesn't melt very fast. I don't know if they make this brand anymore. It's called E-Pair, but I'm going to see if I can find it, and I'll put it back up on my Amazon page after this video airs, and you can buy these there. I really highly recommend. The silicone ones are great because you can kind of squish them into any space you can in your freezer. My freezer in my propane fridge is really small. So sometimes I gotta crunch it in like at an angle to get it in there, but then you just have funny shaped ice cubes, that's all. Also, the nice thing about having ice on board is you can drop it into your pet's water bowl. You can fill your pet's water bowl with water and then put a whole bunch of ice cubes in it, and that'll keep their water really cold for quite a while. And I'll do that when I notice when Odin is drinking his water, I'll drop an ice cube in there. And I'm pretty clumsy too, so sometimes I'll drop one on the floor, or there'll be some ice from the freezer, and I'll just put that in his bowl, and he really enjoys the cold water. Of course, when it's 90 degrees out, he's going to want to cool down any way he can. And most importantly, don't forget the ice cream. Now the next tip is to have a lot of fans. And I don't mean YouTube fans, because I would know nothing about that. What I mean are these kind of fans. We all know about the Fantastic fan or the Max Air fan. You know, the fan that goes in the roof of your vehicle to keep you cool. And they work very well to move air. But there are sometimes it's just not enough. You need to get your wind on. Now, I highly recommend the Ryobi fan because I have Ryobi tools. And if you have Ryobi tools, you can use, basically, it takes the same battery that we'd use in your tools. So here I have one of their 18-volt batteries. It goes into the thing. And now you have a 2-speed fan. So you can put this anywhere you want. It's got a hook you can hang. I actually put this metal hook in it, but it's got a plastic hook where you can hang it up on something. Now the nice thing about this is that you can see in there it has a plug for 110 AC. So I actually have an extension cord I plug into this and it will run right off my inverter all day long. The only downside, these little batteries that I have, the fan on low would probably last 4 to 6 hours, no problem. On high, it's kind of like 2 hours on a battery, but you can get the bigger batteries than this, which will last a lot longer. If you're interested, these are on my Amazon page. And for the 6th and final tip on how to keep cool in the heat, this is something that you Italian women need to pay close attention to. Getting rid of excess body hair. And now that you're up in the mountains, you got your tarp set up, you got your water, you got your fans, there's only one thing left to do. And that's get naked, yee-hoo! And enjoy that nice, cool RV. Catch you guys next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe, and clean my litter box.
Hey, thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe, share, and like. And we'll see you guys next time. Say hi, Odin.